Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. Washington state workers are now up against the clock to prove they are vaccinated against COVID-19.
So if they don't show vaccine proof by midnight, they're likely out of a job. More than 600,000 state employees fall under the governor's mandate. Now, it can be confusing who the mandate impacts. So here's a quick breakdown. Anyone working in hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living, and adult family homes must be fully vaccinated.
The governor's proclamation also covers child care providers, K-12 schools, and higher education. Firefighters, state EMTs, and paramedics also covered by the mandate, along with all state workers in agencies like the Department of Licensing, DSHS, and the Washington State Patrol.
Getting the vaccine will be a condition of employment. This will be a condition of employment. And to continue operations and employment, you will be required to come into conformance with this safety requirement. This is a safety requirement of the state of Washington.
Governor Jay Inslee announced the mandate in August after a big spike in COVID-19 hospitalizations here in Washington state.
Now, the city of Spokane is facing another lawsuit tonight over that mandate.
Spokane City firefighters are suing the city of Spokane, Mayor Nadine Woodward, and Fire Chief Brian Schaefer. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley explains why they claim the city has violated their civil rights.
Tom and Whitney, the lawsuit filed in federal court lists 25 Spokane City firefighters who claim the vaccine mandate violates their civil rights. It claims the city intended to terminate them without due process or making any accommodations. Now, documents say all the firefighters listed in the suit had their exemption requests accepted. Despite this, they claim the mayor and fire chief refused to provide religious or medical accommodations. The firefighters have offered to pay for their own PPE and testing, and they also argue surrounding fire departments are accommodating their firefighters. Now, according to the lawsuit, what it calls wrongful termination of these firefighters will expose the city to $50 million in liability for lost wages and pensions. The lawsuit is requesting a restraining order to stop the city from taking adverse employment action against them for not being vaccinated. Now, defense attorney Nathan Arnold is representing similar lawsuits for groups across Washington state relating to the vaccine mandate. Coming up at 5, I'll share what he believes the impacts of Spokane's firefighter shortage will be. Reporting in the newsroom, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. And WSU head football coach Nick Rolovich, easily the state's most visible employee, who has now applied for a vaccine exemption.
Brenna Green joins us on campus right now down at Washington State as we await the news. Brenna.
Tom, Whitney, there has been no official word from the university yet in terms of Nick Rolovich's status as an employee. This has been a pretty well-kept secret to this point. There is a report from Seattle sports radio host and WSU alum Jason Puckett that the team will have a mandatory meeting tonight at 5:30 and that Pat Chun will be in attendance. We've already seen some players come into this complex. I would assume that they are here for that meeting. Those players include Brennan Jackson and Ron Stone. We reached out to Athletics to confirm that meeting, but they said they hadn't been told anything officially yet. If that meeting does in fact happen, the players should be meeting in the football complex, which is what I'm standing outside of right now. We'll bring you the latest as it's happening and visuals of the players walking into said meeting. I do want to add one note from what I have seen so far. WSU co-offensive coordinator Craig Stutzman did walk out of this building about a half an hour ago. It is widely believed that Stutzman is unvaccinated. We're not sure if he applied for an exemption or not, but there are at least some coaches on campus. In fact, Stutzman's brother, Billy Ray, quit his job on Navy's football staff because they were going to require him to get a vaccination. We will bring you the latest from this as it unfolds here on WSU's campus. For now, I'm going to send it over to Ian Smay, who's going to talk about all the possibilities that could come out of today with Rolovich's religious exemption request. Ian?
Yeah, Brenna, WSU has a few different ways to go about the vaccine mandate, including for people like Rolovich who have gone the route of requesting a religious exemption, but they all start with that first step, submitting an exemption request with the university. And we know that it is a religious exemption in the case of Rolovich because his mentor, June Jones, told USA Today that was what Rolovich did, and Rolovich confirmed it afterwards. The university now has to accept or deny that exemption request. That is done by a blind panel, which processes the request and make a decision without knowing who made the exemption request in order to make the process fair. If it is rejected, he can appeal and go on leave until the appeal process is done. But even if it is accepted, that isn't the end of the process. The university can then either provide an accommodation that allows him to work while unvaccinated, or they can say it would be too difficult or impossible to provide that accommodation in a reasonable or safe way. That would end up with him losing his job. But there is one last possible outcome. Let's say that exemption request gets denied or they refuse to provide an accommodation. The university then has to give him one last chance to get vaccinated, in which case he would have to take leave until that vaccination process was done. Brenna asked Rolovich if he would get vaccinated if it came down to that after Saturday's win over Stanford. Here's what he had to say.
Brenna, if that happens out, you'll be the first to know. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Good.
Now, university-wide, WSU has had pretty high levels of compliance with the vaccine mandate. According to the university's latest update, almost 90% of all staff at the university had gotten or was in the process of getting vaccinated as of October 8th. The university had also approved almost 800 exemptions, but again, no word on if accommodations are being provided. As for students here in Pullman, at least 98% are vaccinated. And we have not yet heard what the outcome will be for Nick Rolovich. And in other organizations around the state, we have seen both things happen, both with accommodations being provided for those with an exemption or accommodations being denied or provided only in a way that requires the person to get vaccinated or lose their job. For now, reporting in Pullman, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
Ian, Brenna, thank you to you both. And of course, we will continue to keep you posted as this situation develops, as we are certainly hoping to and expecting to learn more by the end of this day.
You bet.
All right, let's change gears, though. Let's talk about weather. I really noticed it over the weekend. The fall color really is it at its peak, would you say?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think it's at its peak, at least here in eastern Washington. I was over in western Oregon, and it looks like they're a few weeks behind us, actually.
Okay.
So they got a little bit more to go there. Take a look at this. Blue sky and sunshine. An absolutely beautiful day right now. 65 degrees. That's the current temperature. Very little wind out of the north. We'll look for clear and cold skies this evening. We'll go from mild to chilly to cold overnight, down to 38. Another fabulous day expected on Tuesday with a high of 65, but I think by midweek, by Wednesday, we're going to get rain showers developing across the area. And as we head into the weekend, I've got a chance of more rain developing on Saturday. Pretty good chance we'll see showers at times on Sunday with a daytime high Sunday of only 54 degrees. I'll fill in all the blanks with your 7-day forecast. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. And still to come here on KREM 2 News at 4, the State Hospital Association held a briefing today why they say some numbers are going down, but others are not.
Plus, new COVID testing sites just opened in Spokane. Where and when you can get a test, coming up after the break.